Hi, I'm Simon and I'm a Misfit.
Hi, I'm Leroy and I'm a Misfit too.
So welcome back to this video series where we're going to show you how to transform a cheap plastic pool into an awesome sculpture like this Yellow Submarine you see behind us. Remember to subscribe to our channel and to ring the bell to make sure you're notified every time we have a new video.
In the last video, we showed you how to prepare your ground. In this video, we're going to show you how to build the metal armature. We have two teams working on this project, one doing the metal and the other following up with cement. If you're a smaller group, it's perfectly fine to just do the metal and then follow up with cement later.
Our team of 15 people did it in just 1 month. You can even do it with just 2 people, but it's going to take you a little bit longer. You can even make a fun event and invite family and friends over for the weekend to help out.
So to start with, you're going to need a scale image or drawing of what you're trying to create. This will allow you to take measurements and understand the proportions as you build your sculpture. So for this, we took an image that we found off the internet and adapted it so it would fit our circular swimming pool inside. But if your digital design skills aren't up to scratch, you could simply do a hand drawing.
It's very important to understand the ratio between the drawing that you have and the final sculpture itself. The easiest way to do this is if you can make your drawing or image to a scale of exactly, let's say 50 times smaller than the final sculpture, then you know that any measurement on your page just needs to be multiplied accordingly for the measurement of the final sculpture. If you're not able to do this for any reason, the math is very, very simple. All you need to do is divide the larger number by the smaller number. For example, our pool is 4 meters and 20 centimeters in diameter, which is 420 centimeters. If our measurement on the page is 15 centimeters, we take 420 divided by 15, which gives us 28. We therefore know that every measurement on the page needs to be multiplied by 28 to get the measurement for the final sculpture. You can do this with every part of the drawing to make sure that your sculpture is to scale of the image.
Now it's time to get on to making the metal armature. Firstly, you want to hammer out rebars to create the footprint for your sculpture. Keep in mind to place these rebars along the perimeter of the wider circle you've marked out, which is 40 centimeters larger in diameter than the diameter of your pool. When you're hammering in your rebars, make sure you get them nice and straight and have all your tops nice and level. This will help you when you're attaching the horizontals. You can use a level to help you with this.
We began by making the flat and vertical structural parts of the sculpture. So we first began by building a bulkhead at the back by hammering in vertical rebars at a distance of 20 centimeters apart. Once all of the verticals were hammered in, we then tied horizontal rebars which were pre-bent to conform to the shape, and again tied them 20 centimeters apart from one another.
When you are tying two pieces of rebar together, you want to do the cross tying method to make sure that they don't wiggle around and they stay nice and secure. Just like this.
If any part of your sculpture is going to be holding the weight of people, such as steps or a platform in the case of our sculpture, make sure the metal for any vertical part of this framework is hammered nice and deep into the ground. You can see this in our time-lapse video, and you can also see a column we've attached under the platform which contains metal.
To get sharp bends, put a piece of pipe over the rebar and bend upwards, like this. To get gradual curves, lay your rebar on the ground and slowly work your way along the bar, like this. When you're bending metal, it's helpful to draw out a rough guide of the shape you want to bend. We usually do this on a piece of triple or a piece of cardboard or anything around.
Now with the structural parts taken care of, it's time to move on to the aesthetic parts of the submarine. We started at the back of the submarine and built the platform, which gave us a solid foundation to build the rest of the back of the submarine. We built a series of rings to make the shape of the tail, and as the shape moves forward to the front of the submarine, there is the appearance of the submarine sinking into the ground. And then we added the horizontal rebars, again at a distance of 20 centimeters apart, which formed the grid that I referred to earlier.
Once the platform was made, we created the railing around it using the same principle. First we attached vertical rebars around the perimeter of the platform, and then we attached pre-bent horizontals to close up the grid.
Once we've completed the shape using rebar, we then attach 1 inch and 1/4 inch metal mesh, which gives us a nice surface for the cement to adhere to. If you want to see further instruction on how to work with metal mesh, check out our first instructional video series where we go through this in some detail. Now let's move to the front of the submarine. As you can see, we're taking the same steps as we did for the back. We start by building a bulkhead which closes the cavity in the nose of the submarine. And then we attach vertical rebars to define the shape of the front. Once we have all of our vertical rebars in place, we complete the shape with horizontal rebars.
Now that the middle of the front and the back of the submarine is done, it's time to move on to the sides. The sides have a very consistent shape. We drew out the curve we wanted on a piece of triplé, then we got our metal rebar and bent it to shape. We built many and many of these shapes. Then we stick them in the ground 20 centimeters apart, and these form our verticals. Next, you get horizontal rebars, pre-bend them to the shape you want, and attach them to finish your grid. Sheets of 1-inch and 1/4-inch metal mesh are tied to the rebar.
We've bent the tops of each of these vertical rebars around the circumference of the pool horizontal so that it can sit a ring which is going to form the rim of the pool. We've made a huge circle using 3/8 rebar, and the size of this circle is the size of the footprint of the circle of the pool, which is 20 centimeters larger than the actual pool itself, so the pool fits inside. We've attached long straight pieces of rebar in a cross within the circle to keep the circle in shape.
And to make the squid, we use exactly the same principles. First we created the shape using the vertical rebars, and then we filled it in with horizontal rings of differing sizes and tied it all together. Then we put it on the nose of the submarine and did the tentacles using more rebar and finished it all off with metal mesh.
We've taken you through everything you need to know to make the metal armature in this video. Stay tuned, because in the next video we're going to show you everything you need to know for the cementing phase and to finish it off with the paint.